I think that is the difference between those who are good and great. You know what I mean? I think a good player, they'll go into the game expecting like, oh, I'm gonna get the sack right here, and they don't get the sack, and then they don't ever think about it again. But the great players are the ones that are, oh, he got me this time, but the next one, the next play, the next play, the next play.
The Next Man Up podcast is presented by Lansdowne Resort. From kickoff to check-in, score a game-changing getaway in the heart of Loudoun. Lansdowne Resort, proud partner of the Washington Commanders.
Welcome into the Next Man Up and happy holidays, Commanders family. I'm your host, Brian Colbert Jr., here from the Big Bear AI Command Center studio. And our Next Man Up, been here before, but his first time on Next Man Up as a player. Because before you was a free agent, you just came in this building, you just signed pen to paper, just got your bag. Now you here, man. Got a big smile on your face. Man, how you feeling, dog?
Blessed, man. Blessed. Extremely honored for y'all to have me back on.
Yeah.
You know, extremely honored to be placed in this position. Yeah, man, blessed.
Yeah, blessed is an understatement, brother, because it's been dope to see what you've been able to accomplish since being here. Because I remember last time when you came in, you talked about being traded multiple times, trying to find a home, trying to find an opportunity. And it looks like you found a good home here and a good opportunity. Would you agree?
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Yeah. How do you feel about this coaching staff, this defensive staff, trusting you the way that they have this year? Because, man, we have had injury after injury. But you came in as that true next man up and became a bright spot for this, man. How dope was that for you?
It's been awesome, man. It's been awesome to have that support, that belief, you know, in my abilities. Obviously, I came in knowing what I was capable of, you know, but to have the confidence of like your peers, you know, whether it be your teammates or your coaches in collaboration in terms of what we're trying to accomplish on each call. That's been tremendous. You know what I mean? And just the shout out to the coaches in the D-line room, you know, Reef, Tap, RK, even Vaughn, Preston, you know, it's a good crew to pick their minds that played a lot of football, been in a lot of big situations, you know, have done things consistently right throughout their career.
And some of those names you named, those are future gold jackets. Some of them, you know, those are Hall of Famers. Yeah. Those are some of the best to have ever done it. How valuable is that to be in a building like this, right? Because you don't really know what you're getting when you sign to a place, but you come into a building with all these ex-NFL players, ex-NFL stars. What has that been like for you in your development?
It's been huge. It's been huge, man. You know, whether it be on-field development, off-the-field development, you know, I talk to Vaughn every day, you know, whether I'm texting him or calling him or FaceTiming him. His locker's right across from mine, you know, whether it be business ventures, football ventures, or watching tape late at night. Like, I, you know, text Ryan in the morning, and I know he got the kids and stuff at the house, so he may text me back, or Tap, they may text me back the next day, you know, once they get home. They, you know, family men, which I respect. You know what I mean? So, like, just being able to reach out, like, for them to answer my questions or ask questions, you know what I mean? And like, that it's real collaborative. You know what I mean? You don't really get that in a lot of places where they're trying to figure out, okay, if I see it this way, you know, how can they coach me to see it how they want me to see it? You know what I mean? Or if they didn't see it that way, can they go ask a question, you know, to DQ, and he'll come back with a response for us, you know? So I think that's super dope.
And it's funny you mentioned Vaughn, because like even sitting here listening to you talk, I'm like, you and Vaughn are actually very similar.
Yeah.
Y'all have very similar mindsets. Y'all have very similar demeanors and personalities. And I know, just like me, we've been watching Vaughn forever, way before he got into this building. What was it like when he does come into this building and he is your peer now, right? Because, yeah, we look up to this guy. We've watched him for years. What has it been like being his peer? And was it tough asking him those first questions, or did you just dive right in? Because I know some people, they get a little nervous, get a little shy when they see their, you know, somebody that's like their idol. What was it like for you?
You know, Vaughn and I, our paths have, you know, crossed. We've weirdly been connected in so many different ways, you know, before we were teammates. You know, so asking him questions, whether it'd be a good question or a bad question, you know, I just ask him, you know what I mean? If it's dumb, he may laugh at me or something like that, or just his thought process, man. He thinks a lot differently than most people would assume, you know, and I think that's part of the reason why he's a Hall of Famer, man. Like, truthfully, like, the way he thinks, the way he sees things, his positive outlook, you know, even if you mess up or have an MA or ME, you know, for those that don't know, a mental error, or ME, like or TE, like a technique error, those kind of situations. So like his ability to, like, yeah, I get you took a bad step here, but that get off was great. You know what I'm saying? Just finding that positive. So you're not, I think that is the difference between those who are good and great. You know what I mean? I think a good player, they'll go into the game expecting like, oh, I'm gonna get the sack right here, and they don't get the sack, and then they don't ever think about it again. But the great players are the ones that are, oh, he got me this time, but the next one, the next play, the next play. You know what I mean? That's their mindset. You know what I mean? I think just hearing him say stuff like that, or just the little pointers of his mindset in games or situations, man, that has truly changed like how I've always kind of thought that way, but now it confirmed, okay, it's okay for me to think this way, you know?
Yeah, and it shows on the field.
Yeah.
5.5 sacks, and you ain't done yet. We still got a few games left. What is going right for Jacob Martin here in the Burgundy and Gold?
Really, I think it's a testament to my preparation. You know, I try to be as consistent as I possibly can, you know, almost OCD-ish in terms of my preparation every week. I try to make sure I'm doing the same things every week, you know, to make sure my body and my mind and my game are right going into whether it be a Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday game, you know, whatever the case may be. I try to replicate that process every week, you know, and try to ask those questions every week, and really just try to understand what we're trying to accomplish on each call. I think that's also helped me play faster for sure.
Use the word consistency. There's not a lot of consistency in life. There's not a lot of consistency in the NFL. And you've kind of been a testament to that this year because your role has not been consistent. You come in, it's a crowded defensive line room, right? We got guys ahead of you, Endurance, Armstrong, Wise. But then the season progresses and guys fall, injury after injury. And your role becomes less of a rotation guy. And now you're an every down guy. You're a guy that we need desperately. How was the patience while you're waiting for this role to develop, while you're waiting to get these more snaps? Because I know you want to be on that field all the time.
Yeah.
But you had to wait a little bit. What was that patience like?
You know, I think that's really where I built my process, I would say. You know, coming off the bench or being a rotational guy or a DPR guy, you know, that has allowed me to like have both views, I would guess. Like as a you know, DPR, designated pass rusher, you know, you don't necessarily have the opportunity always to set up your rush, right? So you got to throw your best one, right? And similar to this process, like, okay, I came in, I was playing Sam, so I was doing a little bit more first, second down type of work, lower red zone type of work when we get in big personnels, that kind of thing. But I think that allowed me to hone in even more on my process, right? Okay, I can understand the process of the play. I can understand the process of whether it be Joe or DQ, like, you know, installing the defense or making a tweak on the defense. And it allowed me to understand their thought process on what they want to accomplish. And, you know, unfortunately, you know, we had guys, you know, go down and stuff like that, but I never took my mindset off of, okay, let's go through the process. Let's own this role. You know, I think it's another big thing. Like when I first came in, you know, we would be out there stretch lines and, you know, Tap has, you know, his little mantras for guys every day. You know what I mean? And for me, he always would tell me, you know, Jamar, own it. Go out there and own that spot. Like, own it. Like, and I took that wholeheartedly, you know, I'm going to own the spot, right? So that, to me, that meant, okay, I'm in control of the things I can control. I can't control when I'm getting into the game. I can't control if my number is going to be called or when my number is going to be called, but I can control being prepared, being locked into the situation, and understanding my role and my assignment to the utmost of my ability, you know. And I think that's kind of where I like to stay in that pocket, you know. Control things you control, because you can't control, you know, guys getting hurt. You can't control, you know, whether you're going to play or not. And I think a lot of young players or players that may be in situations where they're up and down on the roster or even they may be a core special teams guy. You know what I mean? Owning your role, wherever your number is called, wherever you're asked or tasked to do, you know, no job is too big, no job is too small, but being able to accept that role and own it, you know, and then if your role changes, okay, roll with the punches, own the next role. You know what I mean? So just staying in that pocket of, I can control what I can control. I can control my effort. I can control knowing and doing my job. I can control my physicality. I can control how I arrive to work. I can control how I'm perceived as a professional. You know what I mean? And in controlling those things in terms of, okay, showing up on time, doing the extra work. And these aren't things that are new for me. It's something I've always done. But to have that, I guess, validation here has been nice.
And you say own your role. Your role is a lot bigger now, especially in these last few games when we're playing these NFC East opponents. What do you feel your role is, and how do you own it? Like if a young player comes to you and says, what's your role? Teach me what that means when coach tells me to own it. What would you say?
I think there's two parts to that, right? Understanding what what you're trying to accomplish in the call, right? So if the call requires you to drop into coverage, okay, how can I own my role in coverage, right? So that's knowing where I need to be in certain fronts or against certain looks and owning that space, right? So if you're dropping strong hook, it's 10 to 12 plus 1 of the hash. That doesn't change. You know what I mean? So let me be demonstrative in how I perform that task, right? And doing it with urgency. I think that's another thing. You know what I mean? Because, players are going to mess up, coaches are going to mess up. That happens in football, man. Ain't nobody perfect. But if you can understand that doing stuff with urgency and playing fast, that eliminates a lot of things. But I think understanding the purpose, right, the why of doing something in a call, I think that's just as important as that allows you to own your role even that more, right? As a teammate or as a player, you want to care. Like I Temple's ingrained into me. We had a player mantra. You know what I mean? And one of the sayings was like, "I will care for my teammates."
Yeah. Right.
And caring for your teammates to me is okay. This opportunity for whether it be McGee or Oos or Bobby or Quan or Mike. You know what I mean? If they have a blitz or something like that, and it's required for the DN or the D line to slant or stay high or stay vertical or be in this pocket. You know what I mean? So they have their moment, right? Like I'm doing this for them, right? My why is for being so demonstrative in how I arrive or perform in certain tasks is like, because I want my guy to eat. My why is okay. I gotta take these 3 steps up the field so Oos can get free or Bobby can get free, and then I gotta drop into coverage to buy him time to get to the sack. You know what I mean? Like that's how I think. You know what I mean? And I think that's important to understand the why. Then you can understand the purpose of the call. If you can understand the why and the purpose of the call, you can control a lot of things.
Said like a true commander, said like a true leader. And I know you lead by example. And another part of leading is also showing these guys how to shut it down sometimes and how to relax and spend downtime. And our partners at Lansdowne Resort like to know y'all getting it done on the field, but that y'all also getting some downtime too. So normally I ask, how do people spend their downtime? But you just told me you just got you a nice little gift from your teammate, a little crossbow.
Yeah.
Have you used a crossbow before?
No, it's my first crossbow, so I'm excited to see how this goes.
So how do you plan on using this crossbow? What's the plan?
I don't know. I need a backyard first. I don't have a backyard out here. I'm in a townhouse, so
okay, me too.
so once the season's over, I may spend some time trying to figure out how to use the crossbow in the backyard.
Have you hunted?
Yeah, I have hunted. I have hunted it. I'm a very avid hunter.
Oh, yeah? I mean, honestly, I'm not surprised because you be hunting on that field. You be hunting for those sacks. And like I said, you got 5.5 sacks now, but we know more are coming. These NFC East opponents, it's been kind of crazy because our last 4 games have been all NFC East. You didn't really get a taste of that before coming here, and now you've gotten to see it. You've gotten to see the difference because everybody talks about those differences in those games. Can you speak on that and what it's been like being able to compete at the highest level against some of the best teams in the NFL?
I would say there's a lot of historic franchises in this division. A lot of heavy hitters in this division. You know what I mean? A lot of physical football. When you think of, the NFC, you think of cold, you think of outdoor games, you think of physical football. You think physical running game, physical backs, big offensive linemen. So that's what you think. And then you just have historic organizations that are in this conference, this division. So for me, it's like I kind of looked at myself as a hired hitman my whole career. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm a hitman for hire. So like it's easy for me because I think I approach the game every week as if it's a rivalry game. That's just how my mind works. So it's not necessarily I'm getting even more up for, these division games and stuff like that. But I know that they're going to give me their best because of it's the division. You know what I mean? So I love stuff like that. You know what I mean? I love knowing that I'm going to get your best shot. You know what I mean? Because you're going to get mine.
Oh yeah.
So like, so I love that, man. I've always admired, the football that's played in this division. You know what I mean? There's been some great football players to walk not only these halls but the halls of other buildings, man. That I grew up watching, man. So like, I can't. I'm not gonna mention nobody, but
I got you.
But yeah, man. So like, I've always been tied, like locked in terms of this division. I've been a big fan of a lot of players in this division.
And I'm sure you've gotten a ton of fans this year, man. Jacob Martin, I don't think too many people knew what we were getting with you, but now they know. And now they want you here, and they want to keep you here in this burgundy and gold. Jacob, we appreciate your time so much. And also, happy holidays, my brother.
Thank you, bro.
I'm expecting my crossbow in the mail.
For sure.
Commanders family, our next man up, 5.5 sacks already. He is just getting started. My guy, Jacob Martin. Appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate you, big dog.
Boom.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Commanders family, we hope you have been enjoying Next Man Up. But before we go any further, we have to pay some bills. Now, Events DC is a proud partner of the Washington Commanders. Events DC is the premier host of meetings, entertainment, sporting, and cultural events in the nation's capital. From the Walter E. Washington Convention Center to Care First Arena, we create experiences that entertain, employ, serve as an economic engine, and elevate guests from around the world. See how we make DC happen at eventsdc.com. Hey, Marylanders. Play multi-match from the Maryland Lottery, Maryland's only in-state jackpot game. A $2 ticket gives you a chance to win a jackpot starting at $500,000. Drawings Mondays and Thursdays. And remember, please play responsibly. They say your work defines who you are. Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, you are clocking in. But what happens on the weekend? What happens to your time? You could take it easy, or you could use your time to get better. In the U.S. Army, we think differently. Your time should be used to improve the skills you do have, to learn some you don't, to push yourself in new ways, because it's those days that truly define who you are. That's how you make progress. That's how you make impact on the world around you. It's your time. How you spend it is up to you. It's your time, the U.S. Army Reserve. Commanders family, back to the show. Commanders family, for our next man up. I don't even got to intro him. He's your favorite. He's my favorite to work with. Welcome in, a legend in himself, on the field and off the field. Fred Smoot'a, my brother, what's good?
Man, it's the holidays.
Yes, it is.
That's what's good.
Yes, sir.
And as parents, as fathers,
Yes.
they say it's more about giving than receiving.
Yeah.
And when as an only child, I didn't really figure that out. I was like, nah, mama, I don't think I'm ever going to feel that way. But now when I give and watch my kids smile on Christmas, no matter what's going on, the fact that we ain't won but 4 games or what's going on, that doesn't bother me for that small window.
Yeah.
Because the holidays do make you focus in on the things that really do matter.
And that's why I wanted to have you on this episode, because yes, there's not a lot of great football to talk about, right? When
Yeah.
you have a 4-win team.
Yeah.
However, you have seen the ebbs and flows.
I've been
of
a part of
seasons.
it.
You've been a part of it. You've been
Yeah.
a part of great teams. You've been a part of not so great teams. When you look at what this team's going through, right? Because this is essentially year 2 of the rebuild, right?
Yeah.
Year 2 for Jaden Daniels, year 2 for Dan Quinn. How are you feeling about the team and where we stand right now?
I'm grounded. I understand the ebb and flow of football. We all one injury away, or we one bad bounce away. And think about it. This year, no matter what game it's been, the ball has just not bounced our way. Last year, the ball bounced our way a lot, and now we're sitting back and we're watching the New England Patriots and Drake May do what we did last year. We're watching the Chicago Bears do what we did last year, and now we're sitting in the background, and now we're mumbling amongst each other about how bad we hate the situation.
Right.
But I was always taught tough times don't last. Tough people do.
Yes,
and
for
we
sure.
gotta. Hey, when you offended them, when you have offended them, it's very much similar to a relationship. I wish I could tell you every day with your wife gonna be good days. You know it ain't gonna be like that.
Facts.
But guess what? it's the hard days that make y'all know y'all meant to be together, all right? Because it's figuring it takes no energy to enjoy a good day. It takes a lot of energy to figure out the bad ones. And the bad ones make you appreciate your partner way more than the good ones.
And it's what you do with the hard times, too, right? It's how you use them, right?
How you manifest
Because losses can be lessons, especially when you are a young team. When you have been in these situations where wins weren't necessarily coming, players were developing, young guys were developing. What is that message in the locker room to understand, like, hey, we got to make the most of this time?
Yeah, well, we got this bad taste in our mouth. Do you ever want to taste this again? Because I don't want to taste this again. How did we get here? That's what we ask ourselves first. How did we end up at this spot? Because in the beginning of every season, every team think they going 17-0. Knowing none of us going 17-0. When we look at their schedule, we don't see no thing that we say a loss. We don't pick losses. We look at the schedule and say we're going to win each and every game. We're going to take it one play at a time. Well, guess what? Some seasons start to unravel. This season had started to unravel. And now we're looking around. We're looking for answers when you got to look inside. You got to look in this locker room. We are the answer. All right? We weren't healthy. What can we do this offseason to make sure we don't go back through this again? What can I do as a player to protect myself? What can my other teammate do to get that much faster, that much stronger, understand that much more of the game plan? So it's all about internally looking and saying, we're going to fix it inside. Looking outside ain't going to get the job done. And I hate to say this, it takes a little luck for good seasons to happen.
We saw that last year.
The ball got to bounce your way in health. The ball got to bounce your way on the field. The ball got to bounce your way with scheduling. The ball got to bounce your way in so many variables in here that everything has to add up and be a perfect storm. And this year, that perfect storm has been a hurricane. And listen, and it's drowned in the city right now. And everybody, I totally understand. But the good part, we live to fight another day. And the thing I can say is, if you ever going to get a win, it needs to be against the Cowboys.
Amen.
Especially while they intact.
Right.
And we're not intact.
Right.
We are not intact. We don't have our stuff. We got so many gaps to fill where they coming in here with Dak, George Pickens, CeeDee Lamb, Ferguson, Javonte Williams. They are intact and they're ready to go. And they ain't going to take it easy on us.
At all.
We need to be there on Christmas Day and understand. And I know a lot of people got their Christmas prayer. They're going to open it up and it's going to be tickets. Tickets to the Dallas Cowboys and the Washington Commanders game. You need to take those tickets, go to Northwest Stadium where I will see you, BC will see you, and let's finish what we started. All right, we started this year. It hasn't went the way we wanted to go, but you got to finish what you started no matter what. I tell my kids that all the time.
And because there's a pride to it too, right?
Yeah.
Like there has to be a pride there. And I think people are like, oh, what are you playing for? They talking about draft, all those different things. But that's not the case when you're a player.
Yeah.
And like I look at our secondary, you talk about all those weapons.
Yeah.
Our secondary, man, they've probably gone through it the worst as far as injuries go. We lose 2 starters.
Yeah.
But we have a guy, Mikey Sanders, still.
Yeah, ready to play.
Man, ready to play. 4 interceptions already. I saw a list today, actually, and it had Mikey Sanders on there, and at the bottom, it had Fred Smoot, because you had 5 in a season.
Yeah.
He has 4.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll get there, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
How cool would that be to see him hit that milestone? Because you know how tough that is to do.
No, it's hard to do, and I think it'll be good for him because I think what he is out to prove to people is I'm an outside corner.
Yes.
Y'all want to pigeonhole me and want me to, because of my size, like how I visually look. I look like a nickel. I am an outside corner. That's where I thrive at. That's where I play the best at. That's where I can see the field at. And what people don't understand, when you're playing the nickel, you're a part of the run game.
Yeah.
You are a hybrid linebacker / defensive back. And it can get tough in there. Think about it. Sean Springs was my nickel.
Yeah.
Do you understand how big Blue was? Blue was 210 pounds.
That's a big defensive back.
He could take that.
Yeah.
He could take that pounding. So I think with Mikey is, intellectually, he's so smart. Physically, he's so gifted, and he understands the game. It slows down for him in the outside, and I think it speeds up for him in the inside. And I think that's something him and the coaching staff have to really have a dialogue about, because when I watch him, he just looks comfortable.
Yeah.
He looks comfortable outside, and no matchup seems to bother him. Not the big receiver, not the fast receiver, not the smart. Nothing bothers him outside.
And he's so versatile. And a lot of times when you are that versatile, it's hard because you get used in a bunch of different ways.
It's hard for you to major in one thing.
It is, yeah.
Because they want you to minor in 4 things.
Yep.
So when you are versatile like that, come on, the dude play wide receiver. Like when he gets the ball in his hand, you can see glimpses of that wide receiver. But when you are so versatile, it's sometimes coaches put a lot on your plate. And when they put a lot on your plate, now I can't master one thing. Like in the NFL, you have to master one thing. If you're a corner, I'm a man-to-man corner. You have to match the man-to-man. All right, I'm a zone corner. I'm a good tackling corner. I'm a good press corner. Like, you have to master these things and be able to repeatedly do them over and over again, no matter who's standing in front of you. And I think that's what he's doing. I think they put a lot on his plate, and I think that's what Coach Quinn will do this offseason. Take a lot off his plate and say, just play fast.
And Fred, it's funny we talk versatility, I think, about you, because we put a lot on your plate here at Command Center, man. You were such a great defensive back. But I feel like you get more credit and love for the things you do on TV, what you do in the community, what you're doing on the radio all the time, man. Is that wild for you as somebody that just exceeded at the highest level to get the type of love you get for being in media like that?
I think I had already set myself up for it while I was playing. I already let them know that I'm going to keep it real with you. I'm going to tell the truth. It might come out a little awkward sometimes, but I'm going to let you know how I feel, and I'm going to give you honesty. And if you honest with people, they'll be honest with you back. And I think through my journey of football and then going to the media, and I've worked for basically every major media outlet in America, so they are used to hearing the country boy talk, and they're used to hearing my dialogue. They used to hear my point of view. In my point of view, I try to keep my feet grounded at all times in my point of view of things. And I always look and I always say to myself, even when I'm dealing with my kids, what would you have thought at 15? What would you be thinking what was going through your head at 15? So I try to keep the people prospect in everything I do. So I enjoy that they actually listen to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, actually listen to me, and I like to have fun. I don't take Fred Smoot serious. And I think a lot of athletes, because we put on a pedestal so young in life, that some of them start to take themselves a little bit too serious. And I think what made me always was a people person was I never took Fred Smoot serious. I don't care about all that. I'm just faster than you. Other than that, I'm not better than you. I'm not a better person than you. I'm just me, and you get to see me on TV. And sometimes when they see people in that box right there, they go from being human to deities or something. Right. And it changes the outlook of how people, and that's why I think people say it ain't always cool to meet your hero, because when they meet some of these people, they don't turn out to be the person that they think they are.
And I think that's what people admire so much about you, though, is in real time, they've gotten to see the highs. They've gotten to see the lows. They've gotten to see you overcome adversity. And one thing I've gotten to watch you do is you remain the same. No matter what you go through. But you see sometimes somebody has one mistake and it's over.
They crash.
It's done.
They crash and burn.
They lose everything. You've managed to have multiple mistakes, but still overcome, still find ways to do that, man. I got to imagine that's not missed on you at all. Like, I got to imagine you don't take that for granted.
Well, I'm from Mississippi, first of all. I was always taught by my mom and daddy, just because you fall, you got to get back up. Now, getting back up is the hard part. All right, but you got to get back up. You got to hold your head up high. Every time you go through something in life, that's when you learn. You don't learn from good times. Good times you don't put no energy in good times. But the true test of a man or a woman is when things don't go your way. What do you do then? How do you rebound? How do you consume it? That's the thing about it. You can consume it and be, woe is me. Oh, I can't believe something happened to me. Or you can be like, man, dust myself back up. Let me get back up. Let me rebuild what I just burnt down. Like, let me figure it out. Let me weave my way through here. And I tell you what, the bad times also do. And this is what everybody needs. Bad time purges you of the people that shouldn't be around you.
Oof, amen.
Right? So that's why they say, sometime when that lightning hit the forest and burn it down, that's for other things can grow. All right? That forest needs to be burnt down for new growth can happen. Well, new growth can't happen unless you break that thing down and rebuild it. You need new studs. You need new plywood. You need new sheetrock. You need new everything. But you can't get there unless you fall. All right? And most people will tell you how they got there. They won't tell you about the dirty times. They won't tell you about when things did not go the way I want to. Well, I didn't have that luxury of living my life private. My life was on that big screen for everybody to see. So once you agree to that, you got to agree to let them see you rebuild yourself.
And when you're rebuilding yourself, right? Because it's easier said than done. Yeah, you could say, hey, losses are lessons. And you have all these, things that you could say.
Cliche things you can say.
Cliche things you can say, but you have to do it. Yeah. You have to get through it. And again, we see so many people not. What gets Fred Smoot back? When you're in that hill, when you're in that valley, what gets Fred Smoot back up top? What are the things you've leaned on to do that?
I think it's the lessons football has taught me. As a corner, I play a flawed position. That's a position where you go out there, you could be the best, but you always know I'm going to get burnt. At some point, I'm going to get burnt. And I'm going to have to get back up in front of thousands of people and millions of people watching and say, let's do it again and again and again and again. And my position is a position of failure. It's like going to the batter's box. If I go 3 for 10 or 4 for 10, I'm an all-star. That means this is a flawed job by flawed people. So I am flawed. And as soon as you learn that I am a flawed human being, you forgive yourself for making mistakes. You say, I'm just going to not do that again. I'm going to be a better me. I'm going to figure this out. Like, once you stop growing, I was taught you're dying. Once you stop growing mentally and physically as a person, you have made it to the end of your road. So therefore, that map gonna have to have you're gonna have to weave out of that lane sometime. You're gonna have to weave back into that lane sometime. Life is constantly evolving. Life is constantly changing. So if you ain't evolving and you ain't changing, that means you're gonna get left behind. My thing was always, I won't lose from not trying. The only shot that's missed truly is a shot not taken. Now, I can take a bad shot. We done been on the court like, man, why you take that shot? I needed to know. I need to try it so I know not to try it again. Heat check. So I need to try it. So that's the thing about it, man. That Mississippi mentality mixed with football, that troubleshooting I had to do on the run, it made life kind of easy when it came to that point. And do it with no shame. I was always one of those people, I'm not ashamed of anything. I'm human just like you.
And again, that's easier said than done. And now you get to watch your son do the same thing, go through the same things. Now, I have to ask you, because I was reading this article, it popped up when I Googled your name, because I always Google y'all names before y'all pull up. Who's the best football playing Smoot?
It's me.
Still you, huh?
Well, really, I'll be honest. My Uncle Junior, who taught me how to play football, was the best athlete, him and my mom. They brothers and sisters. My uncle used to get me in the middle of the street. He'd get like 10 yards away from me, and he would just throw the ball as hard as he could, and I would just lead with black eyes all the time. I'd just get hit. And it got to a point where I could just catch, no matter how hard he threw, I could just catch it without even second guessing. He just whipped me into shape. And then my mom, she found out she was pregnant with me playing football with my Uncle Junior, like pick up a run in the front yard. So a part of me felt like I was meant to do this. I was born to do this. So it just... The people around you make you who you are. I'm strong because of my grandmama, my uncle, my mom. I'm strong because of them and what they put inside of me.
And now your son gets to see the same thing.
And now my son gets to see it. And he has his own Virginia swag to it. But he know he got them Southern roots to it. And the one thing I can say about my son, he want all the smoke. Like some ex-athletes, sons, they don't, the shadow too big.
Right, for sure.
My son wanted all. He think I ain't did nothing. He think he's the first to play at his level. And I enjoy that about him. Because that says to me, he has a confidence that he believes in himself over everything.
And I know he gets that confidence
from you. I like it. Because if you don't believe, how you going to make me believe?
For sure.
Like, how you gonna make a fan believe you the best wide receiver or the best corner when you don't even believe in yourself? Nah, we don't do that. Not Smoots.
And as much fun as you had on the field, I feel like watching you be a dad and watching you see your daughters, your sons, find success.
Yeah.
Have you ever had more fun than what you're having right now?
As an only child growing up, I used to always think, I wonder how my kids, are they going to be more like me or more like their mom? How are they going to view life? Are they going to be grand? Like, are they going to be funny? And they all got my personality. They all got my swag. And they keep a smile on my face. That's what they do because, Lord, the conversations we have are off the chain. And I just enjoy them. Like I told him, I got to take my mom and dad on this voyage.
Yeah.
Now y'all are taking me on this voyage. But that AAU, I tell you, it'll drain you.
Good Lord. That's a long day.
Good Lord. It'll drain you. But watching them excel in sports, in the time that they put in, and just following my directions, it does a lot for me. It does. And I really appreciate it, and I'm really enjoying the ride because now I'm sitting back and enjoying this ride free. I get to go to all these colleges. I get to go on these college trips. I get to do all this stuff with the new school. But the fun part about it, all these universities we go to is guys I played against. They the coaches now. Like, so it's like I'm living in this world that's revolving around my kids, and I know everybody. So it works.
And Fred, when you're not being the dad, when you're not running around here in the studio doing a bunch of different things, you're servicing your community, man.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times I pull up a photo or I pull up an event and you're there.
Yeah.
You're always there,
Always
man.
there.
And you said it, you're from Mississippi. This is not your community, but this is your kids' community.
Yeah.
Why is it so important, especially during the holiday season, for you to give back to this community and just be such a part of it, man? Because I feel like DMV and Fred Smoot'a are synonymous at this point.
Most definitely. These are the people that cheered me on. These are the people that had my back through the highs, through the lows. Why I can't have your back? Like, why I can't be there for you at one point? Like, the thing is, man, with people, life is not complex. People make it complex. Life is simple. Treat people how you want to be treated. I want to be treated nice. I treat people nice. It don't take 15 minutes out your day to make sure somebody else having a good day. And if all I got to do is have my presence be here, all I got to do is be there for you on Christmas, give you a couple of extra gifts that you probably wasn't going to get in hand, that does it for me. Like, I've always wondered with people, like, why would you make the simple things hard? Like, the golden rule, treat people how you want to be treated and just repeat it. Just keep repeating it. That's always my thing, man. And when you meet these people at a game, they never forget that moment. Right? Well, guess what? When I meet you at a charity event, I never forget that moment.
That's true.
Right? Because I know one day, I always tell the young kids, girls and boys, one day I'm going to be asking for your autograph. Right? And I want you to say, I'll never forget Fred Smoot. I came to one of your charity events, you gave me a present, and I'll never forget that. Like, that's make me feel way more than I came to your game and seen you make a play. All right, that's useless in the big scheme of things. But for me to be there for them and give them a memory that they'll never forget, and guess what? It makes them do.
Yeah.
Turn around and give again. So it's just creating a cycle. That's all you're doing. I had the cycle made for me with Steve McNair. He used to come back to Mississippi. Him and Jerry Rice all the time. Do stuff for us. I'm going to do the same thing. So if it rubbed off on me from them, I'm going to rub off on some of these kids. And the cycle just going to keep on going. And the giving going to keep on going. And the people that need it, that appreciate it, they will never forget them times. Some of the best times in their life.
Smoot'a Claus, man. That's why it was perfect to have you here on this holiday show. And one thing we do on Command Center, we do a Fresh Fired Up.
Yeah.
Where you talk directly to the fans. So to end this episode right here, I want you to look at your ISO cam. If you got an ISO cam, I think it's right there.
Yeah.
Look directly at your ISO cam and give us a Fresh Fired Up for Christmas Day when we take on the Dallas Cowboys.
I'm going to reverse this thing because it's Christmas. It ain't fired up. It's Fred's Ice Cold Christmas. And this is what I want. All right. For Christmas, I want you to open up those presents on Christmas Eve. I want you to eat that Christmas breakfast. And then I want you to head to Northwest Stadium where BC, Santana Moss, B. Mitch, Logan Paulson, London Big Back Fletcher, all the guys will be there. We want to see you in the house. We want to see you making noise. We play the Cowboys. You know we hate they guts, and it ain't no better time to get them a Christmas present than Christmas of a ale, a hot ale. All right, served with some hot cocoa. So I'll meet y'all at Northwest Stadium on Christmas Day. I might have gifts with me. I might not.
I had to move the mic away from me because I just start laughing whenever Fred gets in that bed. Fred, my brother, we appreciate you, man. I know this community appreciates you so much because, again, you take so much time to give back, man. You got so much things going on. You don't got to be here, but you choose to be here, brother. We appreciate you so much. Our next man up, a man of the people, a big mouth, but even bigger heart. Smoot'a Claus, my brother. Fred Smoot, appreciate you, dog.
Anytime.
Commanders family, we hope you enjoyed this episode of Next Man Up. Remember, you can stream all of the Next Man Up episodes right now on the Commanders YouTube page or the audio wherever you get your podcast. Thank you so much for supporting the Next Man Up podcast. You've allowed us to be nominated for not one, but 2 People's Choice Podcast Awards, Best Male Hosted and Best Black Male Hosted Podcast. And that's all because of the best fans in the NFL. I appreciate y'all so much for supporting us. It's crazy to think we're already in season 3 of Next Man Up, and we have a lot more to go. So make sure to subscribe to the Commanders YouTube page so you don't miss any of our content. I'm Brian Cole Jr., and this is Next Man Up.
This show was filmed at the Big Bear AI Command Center studio. Big Bear AI offers mission-ready AI for a rapidly evolving world, proudly protecting the Washington Commanders and its fans.